I'm Steven Seltzer, member of the Board of Directors for Think Local First and Manager of Development for the Victoria Kool-Aid Society. We're continuing in our series of conversations with key members of the Think Local First community about strengthening our commitment to local business, entrepreneurs, suppliers, and not-for-profit groups. So many of our members have had to adapt, change suppliers, find new customers, and plan their marketing strategies accordingly. Today, I'm very happy to welcome Cathy Scott, CEO, that's Chief Exploration Officer for Departures Travel, to talk about how market changes have affected her business and the travel sector in Victoria. Welcome, Cathy.
Thanks for inviting me,
Um,
Stephen.
Thank you. Just before we get started, I do want to acknowledge the Lekwungen and Wasanic people on whose unceded and traditional territories we live and work every day. Cathy, this is an unusual conversation for me. This series normally talks about the best ways to support our local businesses and consumers coming to Victoria. Some of our conversations will be directed at Victorians traveling outside the region, but you and your business are an important part of our Think Local collective. Let's start by hearing about your travel office and the philosophy behind it.
Oh, that's great. Thank you for asking. We actually have two offices, one in Oak Bay and one in Sydney. And I would say the philosophy behind both offices is high touch and high service. We provide a little extra layer of service to our clients.
How long have you been the head of Departure Travel?
I actually bought Departures 10 years ago in November, so coming up 10 years now, and it is actually 40 years old.
Wow. So what was it like then, buying an existing business and making it your own, having your stamp on Departure Travel?
Right. I was in the business, for a few years before that. So I've been in just over 20 years now, 2023, I think, something like that. So I knew the business. So that part was, I felt pretty confident. Taking over another brand and making it your own is a different animal altogether. It's been a wild ride sometimes, but it's been really, really rewarding.
Well, you went into business, oh, you've been in business for years, but you bought Departure Travel 10 years ago with a certain expectation, and then things kind of take over that are outside of your control, like COVID and tariffs. What kind of changes, like for example, since COVID, have you seen in the industry? Have you had to, adapt to for your travel services?
Right. With when COVID hit, it was really like turning the tap off. It completely travel not only shut down, it actually reversed. So we were refunding all of the stuff that we had coming up. And so it was pretty brutal time. We got through it, which was great. And I always say that it was like a tap shut off, and then when things started to pick back up again, it was like a tap turn, or it was like a fire hose turned on us. So it was adapting to a new, much more nervous client. And so I think that's where why we really took off more after COVID is because people were wanting to travel. I mean, it's in our blood. As humans, we want to explore, but they felt they needed that extra layer of support. So if they're in destination, something happens, they know that we can get them home. And that's, I think, been the key for us.
Right. And have since the tariffs have talk about how destinations may have changed, how choices have changed. I mean, obviously the big one is less people having the US as their first choice to travel to, but are there any other what other kinds of decisions are people making that's different nowadays?
Well, it's interesting because not only are there, I mean, we've just had very, very few, almost nobody going to the States unless they've got a family member or something. There's lots of reasons people will go, conferences and that sort of thing. But um, it's not so much been that shift for us because the States has never been high for us on a sales list because, if you just want to go to Seattle or something, you just can grab a flight. You don't really need that's not a professional service needed. What we've noticed though is people are looking for routing to all the other destinations in the world that maybe they would have gone through Seattle or gone through LA or something like that. They don't want to. So they're coming to us and saying, we want to go wherever it is, but we do not want to route through the States. So that, they're coming to us for that.
coming in with less of an idea of where they want to go because they may have had traditional locations, but given the changes in the world, are they a little more open to seeing what's new and exciting out there?
You bet. Yeah, there's definitely emerging destinations now because of it. And I mean, that's the upside. The downside is a lot of the other traditional destinations are becoming a lot more expensive. Mexico's skyrocketing in price right now. People that used to go to Arizona for the winter are now thinking, well, I'll go to Mexico instead. It's still fairly close, right? So there is that part of it, which isn't great.
We'll come back to the travelers leaving, but are you helping travelers come to Victoria, people who are looking for information on what to see and how to get to Victoria and how to make maybe a whole tour of the region?
Absolutely. So before I bought Departures Travel, I actually opened Niche Travel, which is women's travel around the globe, and also clients coming to Victoria. So people is, more luxury clientele. And when I say luxury, I don't necessarily mean expensive. I mean experiential. So people coming to the region that want a really unique experience. And so we've been providing that for, I think it's 12 years now.
Can you give an example or two of a tour package experience or different things? There's the obvious ones. Go to see the Empress, go to Bouchard Gardens, and so on. But what are a couple of things that you like to suggest to clients that they do that maybe isn't the most obvious?
Yeah, I mean well, what we do is we interview them and we find out what they like to do. So not necessarily what they like to do here, but what do they actually like to do in their real life? And then we can sometimes provide that for them. So for an example, snorkeling here on Vancouver Island is one of the top it's one of the top places you can go snorkeling in the world. It's absolutely outstanding, and people don't necessarily know that. So that's something we can provide. Obviously, fishing experiences, whale watching, those traditional things. But there's also people that want to do hiking. They want us to put a package together for them where they're staying in beautiful properties, but we give them an idea of where to go during the day. Or biking tours, biking up and down the island is becoming a big thing. Visiting the wineries, we've got some of the most beautiful wineries in North America here on the island, and some very award-winning spirits and that sort of thing. So it really depends on the person's on what they wish to do. Um, for me, I was born and raised. Well, I was born in Victoria and raised mostly on Vancouver Island, and here as well most of my life. So that it makes it easy for me because I do know the island well. I know Victoria well, so it's helpful.
Heard that, we have travel numbers are good. And this should be a very good summer, but I also heard that people coming, there may be a little less money for them to spread around in their tourism. Is that what you're finding as well when people are looking to book trips here?
For sure, we get a lot of Canadians that are looking to spend their money here, which is a bit new. Um, and but we're still getting a good amount of Americans, and we're starting to see more Europeans finding us. We don't have a huge marketing budget, so it's just sort of come organically and word of mouth.
Okay.
But yeah, it's a great source of revenue. People do spend more when they come here than they do in other destinations because we have so much to offer.
Right. Are you going out and reaching other destination tour businesses in Victoria or on the island to create like a maybe a consistent package, or is it really just with each individual, it's a unique experience based on what they tell you?
Most of it is a unique experience based on what, and for an example, we have relationships with travel supply or travel agencies across North America. So they will send their clients to us. Sometimes that's a group. Sometimes it's 50 people coming in to do some sort of a travel, if they award, if you want to call it that, an award with their company. And sometimes it's just families. Um, we've created a few tours, like where this is what you do each day, for those people that are looking for that as well.
I'm wondering, the other Think Local businesses and businesses in Victoria, certainly those with products and services, just how they can attract attention of say someone like yourself that's looking to promote the island, promote Victoria, and promote what we have to offer.
Well, we belong to Destination Greater Victoria, and they do promote us for sure, right?
Right.
And we also belong to we I guess pay to belong to a consortia where they send their clients to us, so or their agencies to us. So there's lots of ways to sort of get introduced into that world.
Got it. Okay. So talk one more time, if you will, just about things, ways that you have adapted in the last few years to provide a great travel service, given hesitations out there, people needing to maybe get a little more information about where they're traveling to, especially since with new destinations, and just basically how to keep hopefully a profitable business in the travel industry right now.
Well, thankfully, we have been profitable for most years except for COVID. It's been a fabulous business. I think the biggest thing for us, especially with all of the and even now, world events happening, is people are looking for security. They're looking for a company that's been around long enough to have seen what's going on out there, to know how to handle the situations as they might arise. I mean, we have to be on top of it. That's our job. And so if we've got clients in a destination, we've had clients in a destination where in Iceland when they had the cloud storm thing going on, all the dust storm, we're actually able to navigate on our system to route people home so they don't have to stand in line at the airport with the other 4, 5, 600 passengers in that same lineup. We actually have the ability to go into our system and get them rerouted while they're going and having a cocktail and everybody else is sitting there standing in line for 4 hours. So people are looking for that level of support, and we have it. We've been this business has been here for 40 years, and some of our advisors have been in the business that long. I've got one that's been 38 years. She was with Departures pretty much from the beginning, and she's still with us.
Probably still learning as well, both about changes here in Victoria and what a traveler wants to see, and also, new experiences abroad to recommend. That's
Absolutely.
the neat thing is this industry, you know, it must be some fun learning actually.
Well, it is fun because we have to go to the destinations and we have to try out the cruise lines. We have to go to the destinations. So the staff is very well traveled. It's a rare place that somebody on the team hasn't been. We also have, the other thing that really I think provides a level of comfort for people when they're working with us is that if we don't know something, we have suppliers on the ground everywhere in the world. So if there's an issue, if we need help, there's somebody somewhere that can help us for our clients, and we've utilized that.
Um, you've been a member of Think Local for quite some time. In terms of a travel company, what is it about your company that you really want to spotlight Think Local?
Well, we all live, work, and play here in Victoria. Other than one, I have one person in Grand Prairie, and she services that market there. She does destination weddings, but all of our every dollar spent with us is kept in the community. We all, we have, I have a number of my advisors that have children in the school system that are buying piano lessons and school books and groceries. So the money when it's spent with us stays here. There's a lot of companies you can work with that are either online or nationally, but that doesn't support Victoria.
Oh, wonderful. Um, a lot of businesses are going through challenges right now. As someone who's been in business for how many years. Any insight you can provide to, I mean, through Think Local mixers, chamber mixers, and so on, you must be passing a lot of information on to businesses that are either starting up or going through a lot of really crazy changes right now. Any insight that you found yourself providing to other businesses lately?
Well, I think one of the things that, I mean, Think Local's been great. I love the grassroots start. I love the fact that most of the people attending the Think Local mixers are the owners themselves. So you really get a chance to meet and exchange ideas, exchange wins and losses, and how do I do this, or have you thought of that? So I think Local itself, just itself, is such a good resource. Um, I think that there's a lot of new people starting out in business that would really benefit from coming, because there are those of us that have been in business for quite some time that can give some, hopefully, some guidance and wisdom. There's also, conversely, having those younger new businesses coming in give us some fresh ideas and keep us relevant, because it's easy to get into that, well, I've always done it this way, right? So I think having new people coming in just helps with that. So yeah, I think Local is a great resource for businesses, new and old.
Great. Well, speaking of wisdom, I totally appreciate yours. I would be remiss if I didn't mention you recently were the recipient of the Greater Victoria Chamber's 2025 Award of Distinction. I guess my last question is, what does that kind of recognition mean to you?
Well, I was completely blown away. I mean, honestly, I when I got the email, I was like, "What? I don't understand." Anyway, I've worked hard to get where I am, and I did most of my I single parented my kids for most of their lives, and did all that while trying to build business. And so I think it was huge recognition for me. I was just so appreciative of the fact that it did get noticed, what I've been working so hard to accomplish. It was also
Wonderful.
wonderful for my team.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That kind of recognition is not just about yourself, but about the team that puts it together
That's
every day. So congratulations to all of you.
Thank you.
And thank you so much for being a part of this today. And I'm sure I'll see you at the Think Local events and moving forward as we continue to do everything we can to help our business community and our not-for-profits thrive no matter what challenges hit us.
Awesome. Well, thanks for inviting me, and I've enjoyed the conversation.
That, Kathy. Okay.